There are signs of courage and recovery tonight in Paris, France, 3 days after a series of terror attacks killed more than 100 people.
I think we're going to leave Kentucky a lot better off than where we found it.
In a WKYT exclusive, Governor Beshear and First Lady Jane Beshear look back on his 2 terms in the state's highest office.
Hundreds of people gathered in Madison County tonight to help the family of a fallen Richmond police officer.
This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. An intense manhunt continues tonight for a man police think is connected to the terrorism attacks in Paris, France that killed 129 people.
And France is still bombing Islamic State targets in Syria. But 3 days after the attacks, there are signs tonight that life in Paris is showing some signs of getting back to normal. Kenneth Craig has the latest in our top story at 11.
Paris's Eiffel Tower stood defiant Monday, draped in the French national colors.
We're so relieved and happy that all the monuments are slowly starting to open up again, and everything's slowly going back to normal.
President Francois Hollande says terrorists will not defeat France and is declaring war on terrorism. He's urging the U.S. and Russia to unite in the fight against ISIS. He meets with Secretary of State John Kerry Tuesday.
Your American sisters and brothers will stand with you shoulder to shoulder as we have stood together throughout history.
Investigators say 8 terrorists killed people from 19 different countries during Friday's attacks here in Paris. The manhunt is intensifying for the one who got away.
Police reportedly stopped 26-year-old Salah Abdeslam near the Belgian border hours after the assault, but let him go. Investigators searched this Brussels suburb, the same neighborhood that once was home to Abdelhamid Aboud, the man French investigators believe was the mastermind. France is also bombing ISIS targets in Syria and arresting dozens in a national security sweep.
I'm not afraid. This is where I live.
Monday night, a group of young people, many around the same age as those targeted, gathered in the pouring rain to unite and to honor their dead peers. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, Paris.
The Islamic State released a propaganda video today promising more attacks against any country that targets it. The video threatened Washington, D.C. in particular. Following the Paris attacks, more than a dozen governors say their states will not accept any Syrian refugees brought to the U.S. As for Kentucky, Governor Beshear says as long as he's governor, the state will look at refugees on a case-by-case basis. But in a statement, Governor-elect Matt Bevin said he opposes resettling Syrian refugees in Kentucky until any possible risk to Kentuckians can be determined. Kentucky Refugee Ministries resettled 3 Syrian families in central Kentucky this year. They went through a 2-year vetting process.
There are layers upon layers upon layers of checks before people actually arrive.
Kentucky Senator Rand Paul has introduced legislation that would suspend visas from being issued for countries with a high risk of terrorism.
Governor Beshear is keeping busy in his final weeks in office, and tonight he and First Lady Jane Beshear sat down with WKYT's Jennifer Palumbo to reflect on their time in the governor's mansion and look ahead to what's next. It is a WKYT exclusive.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas at the governor's mansion. But for the first time in 8 years, Steve and Jane Beshear will not celebrate the holiday here.
Whether it's the staff that's here at the mansion, whether it's the security that are with us day in, day out, all of the people that work in the governor's office and around me, and we're like a family, and we're going to miss that family.
And I think we've accomplished a lot. I think we're going to leave Kentucky a lot better off than where we found it.
The governor takes pride in issues from job creation to health care reform. Kentucky's unemployment rate is the lowest in 14 years, and 500,000 Kentuckians have health care coverage for the first time through Connect, the state-based health exchange.
When you look at the list of things just in the last year or two we've been able to pass with domestic violence protection and booster seat requirements for our children, and the dropout age that Jane was so persistent and got done.
When you're in a position like this, you really do have a bully pulpit. And I decided to take advantage of that for the areas that interest me the most.
The governor says he hopes his successor, Republican Governor-elect Matt Bevin, will reconsider his campaign promise to block Medicaid expansion and eliminate Connect.
The studies that we have so far, all the facts say, yes, we can afford it for the next few years. But what do I advise anybody to do? Keep looking at it. As we go along, keep looking at it. If we ever reach that point to where we can't afford it, then you can make another decision.
Married 46 years, the Bashirs can't wait to spend time with their 3 grandchildren. Their son Andy Bashir was just elected Attorney General. But at 71, Steve Bashir says his days of running for office are over.
I'm pushing Jane to run.
And I am not.
No, we're not going to be up for public office again. We've done our thing there, and I mean, what greater position is there than being governor of Kentucky, to be honest with you?
In Frankfort, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
And when asked if he has any regrets, Governor Bashir said not getting expanded gambling and tax reform passed. The Bashirs will move out of the mansion on December 7th. Inauguration Day is December 8th.
Tonight, police are still trying to figure out who's responsible for killing a 7-year-old Kentucky girl. Police say the medical examiner has determined that Gabby Doolin was murdered. Police found her dead Saturday night in a wooded area near Allen County Scottsville High School. Gabby had been watching a football game at the school earlier that night when her family says she disappeared. Today, her mother and brother talked about the heartbreaking loss.
I never thought anything like this would happen to my baby. Never in a million years. I thought she was safe because every time we had been there, she knew I told her where she could go and where she couldn't go.
I'm gonna miss her. She was always so happy about everything. No matter what was going on, she was always happy.
Police have not said if they have any suspects in the case.
We've been tracking some showers across parts of the bluegrass tonight, and that's a sign of what's to come later this week. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey shows us what's on the first alert defender right now. Chris?
Yes, Sam, it's a big storm that is out across the Rocky Mountains, working into the Plain States now, and that storm, by the time we hit Wednesday, will be right on top of Kentucky. But believe it or not, we are already feeling the impacts of that around here with a couple of raindrops that have been noted. That low continues to spin across the Rockies. It has near blizzard conditions on the backside of that. Severe weather lining up out ahead of it. Tornadoes have been reported from Texas through parts of Oklahoma up into Kansas as of late. And look at that squall line and all the winds blowing into that big area of low pressure. Rain is out ahead of that, though. We had some drops a little earlier in the day, and notice this next round trying to gear up from Memphis toward the Paducah area, southeastern Missouri. Right now across central and eastern Kentucky, not a whole lot is left over. Let's look at our future radar, though. Hour by hour radar later tonight, tomorrow morning. Look what it tries to do with that band of rain into western Tennessee and western Kentucky. Tries to bring it in to the central and eastern parts of the state. When I come back in a few minutes, we will track that band, and we will also look ahead to your wet and windy Wednesday in just a few.
Thank you, Chris. It was originally planned to be a small spaghetti dinner to help the family of a fallen Richmond police officer.
But so many people wanted to help, it turned into a large fundraiser at the Madison County Fairgrounds. Hundreds of people gathered tonight to help Officer Daniel Ellis's family. Monique Blair has the story.
Richmond has suffered a great loss. So this is just an opportunity for all of us to come together as a family and just give that one last send-off to the Ellis family.
You know, we all knew Daniel. We all really liked him, and he's a really super guy, and this is it just hits home for a lot of us.
Madison County Circuit and District Court clerks work daily with law enforcement officers, which is why they wanted to host this fundraiser. But Officer Ellis's death also affected Chief Deputy Circuit Clerk Allie Combs Wicker, because her husband is also a police officer.
It really makes you stop and think, you know, this could have been me.
We got 4 coming in.
Okay.
Maybe 20. The support didn't only come from the hundreds of people who showed up here to buy a plate of spaghetti. It also came through the way of donations for this silent auction. It's not only Officer Ellis's family who are feeling the support from the community, but his brothers in blue tell me they too feel appreciated.
The community in all of the county has shown a lot of support to the police, not just here in Richmond, but we've even seen it in Berea. and we just want to let everybody know how much we appreciate it.
In Madison County,
And the home of the brave.
Monique Blair, WKYT.
Organizers tell us the event raised more than $11,000 for the Ellis family.
Tonight we have an alert about a scam targeting Central Kentucky businesses. Someone is calling them, claiming to be from Kentucky Utilities and demanding money to keep the electricity from being turned off.
But KU leaders say don't fall for it. New at 11, Sean Moody talks to a business owner who nearly lost money.
Oh, this is the first time that I'd had anything like that to happen.
The workers at the Alterations and So Much More shop were pretty busy today when the stitch-up began.
It was a 1888 number.
There was a guy claiming that he was with Kentucky Utilities, spinning some yarn about how they owed money.
He was 1 hour away and he was going to come and disconnect our electricity.
Which seemed odd to Martha, since she said she'd already paid. She said they tried to string together some story about something was changing with their payment system and she'd need to send a wire transfer. That's when their story started to unravel.
And I thought, this doesn't sound right. So I asked to speak to somebody else, and he pretty much got my words over the phone, and I hung up with him and then called KU.
A Kentucky Utilities spokesperson said calls like this one seem to come in waves, and he said there are some red flags you should look out for.
The immediacy of the sense of urgency with it, for people to call directly to them and say, you need to pay your money now and pay it by credit card or get me something quickly. That's not the way we do business.
The scammers didn't get any money out of Martha today, but the whole thing left her spooled up.
There's too many criminals out that would rather steal from people than work honestly. And I know I work hard, and I don't want my money taken that way.
In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
The shop owner says other businesses nearby had received similar calls, but she said they were all just hanging up.
New tonight, the governor is again saying that altered marriage licenses issued in Rowan County are valid. According to our news partners at the Herald Leader, lawyers for the governor told a federal judge while the licenses do not meet the state's legal requirements, they still should be considered valid. Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis removed her name and the county's name from the licenses. The licenses state that they were issued because of a court order. Davis opposes issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples for religious reasons. The University of Pikeville is now recruiting students for a brand new program. The university will soon be the home of Kentucky's only optometry school. Late last week, the school leaders received preliminary approval to start recruiting students. Construction continues on the building that will become the optometry school. It should be finished in December.